You want to know what separates video games from every other form of media? The personal engagement it offers to the player. Whether you're playing a game for the scares or for its fast and exhilarating gameplay, being able to take control of the characters in these fictional worlds offers a sense of immersion that all other forms of media are not able to reach. Video games can offer entertainment in a variety of different ways, and I'm not just talking about different genres. I'm talking about games that make actions that are as simple as pressing up on the analog stick a lot of fun, because that is not an easy thing to do. In most video games, the simple action of moving your character is trivial, and sometimes even boring. Meanwhile, other games are able to make player movement incredibly fun and entertaining. I get into these super in-depth discussions with my friends sometimes, and one night we were listing off video games where simple movement was actually a lot of fun, and it was a very insightful conversation. Today I decided to talk about 3 video games that I think are the most entertaining in terms of movement mechanics. If there are any games I missed, be sure to let me know. Spider-Man 2 was probably my favorite game to come out last year, and yes, there is a ton of bias behind that statement. Spider-Man 2 does everything you want a sequel to do, improving the mechanics and driving up the stakes. This game has really fun combat, but the core mechanic of course is the web swinging, and it's really, really good. The best compliment I can give this game is the same compliment you can give the last game. It makes you feel like Spider-Man. Swinging around New York City feels as good as it's ever been, and the sequel was sure to enhance the already fantastic swinging with the websuit as well as additional swinging skills. Other additions like the wind tunnels and slingshots add an extra layer to the already very fun mobility in this game. I remember the developers showing off their instant fast travel. Like, yeah, great mechanic that I will never use a single time because swinging around New York City is so fun in this game. Seriously, am I the only person who thinks that fast travel just should not exist in this game? Unless you're speedrunning, I do not see the point. Not only is the movement in Spider-Man 2 fluid, it's incredibly hard to come to a dead stop. Even when running directly into a wall, odds are Peter will just swing right over it. That feeling of never losing momentum adds a lot to this game. Even when I was playing through this game's story, I found myself just swinging around New York, trying out new air tricks and swinging skills, completely ignoring the story for a few minutes and just patrolling the city. Swinging throughout New York as Spider-Man is not only fun, it's relaxing. Similar to going for a late night drive in GTA 5. No, just me? Well, anyway. Spider-Man 2 has some of the best movement mechanics in any game I have ever played. When I prefer swinging to my destination over using your instant fast travel, then you've done something very, very right. Titanfall 2 has, and will probably remain, one of the most underrated games of all time. Titanfall 1 was your typical overhyped EA title that was destined to flop, so when a sequel was announced, most people, including myself, did not have high hopes. On the surface, Titanfall 2 seems like yet another lifeless and stale sequel. Well, I was wrong. Titanfall 2 is a fantastic game that has everything the first game was missing. It has a surprisingly great story, it has even more Titans to play and customize with, and it has a very fun multiplayer mode. The movement in Titanfall 2 is probably the best movement I've experienced in any first-person shooter. Wall running and combat sliding is already cool, but it's even better when you're shooting at robots the whole time. And this is the exact thing that Titanfall 2's multiplayer has to offer. Titanfall is obviously not the first shooter to focus on verticality and high mobility, but it's certainly one of the best, if not the best in its category. Wall running while dodging bullets just to hop on an enemy Titan, steal its battery, and make a quick escape, that's just fucking cool. The map design complements the player movement by offering plenty of zip lines and flat surfaces for wall running and map traversal. When it comes to multiplayer games, Titanfall 2 just might have the best movement controls, which is a shame because this game did not do great in terms of sales, despite being a really good game that actually deserves your money. All we can do is wish the best for Titanfall 3, if that's ever gonna happen. Outer Wilds is one of the best games I have ever played. Its mysterious open world combined with the game's mechanics offers a one-of-a-kind experience. It's basically a massive sandbox puzzle game. Unlike the 2 games previously listed, Outer Wilds does not have you shooting robots or stopping criminals. In fact, there are no enemies in Outer Wilds at all. Okay, well not entirely true, but you get what I'm saying. Gameplay in Outer Wilds is centered around using your tools to gather information, meaning you'll be spending most of the game exploring its various planets. One of the best parts about Outer Wilds is using its mechanics to explore and unravel its vast amount of mysteries. Your jetpack and camera are basic but necessary tools, but other things like ghost matter and gravity crystals add an extra challenge to world exploration. The best part about movement in Outer Wilds is that, especially when compared to other space games, Outer Wilds has almost no restrictions with its open world. If you see something cool, odds are you can go to it. Want to land on a stray meteor? You can do that. You want to fly to a volcanic moon? You can do that. You want to manually land on an incredibly small station that orbits the sun? You can do that. It's insanely fucking difficult, but you can do it.
Why isn't this working?
Some puzzles in Outer Wilds involve platforming, and thankfully you have a jetpack, which is bar none the most useful tool you have. Not only does the jetpack allow you to jump very high distances, it can also propel you in practically any direction, which is useful in a game where you spend a lot of time in zero gravity. If you want another example of the freedom of movement that Outer Wilds has to offer, the two neighboring planets, Ash and Ember Twin, are so close you can actually jump from one planet to another. But let's say you missed the jump and ended up in the vast darkness of space without your ship. Well, you can use your jetpack and propel yourself to a nearby planet. It may take a while, but you can do it. The jetpack is not only a crucial tool for exploration, it's a lifesaver in most other scenarios. The open world in Outer Wilds offers a variety of different challenges that require different approaches. Platforming being one of its primary methods, of course. And sure, it can be anxiety-inducing at times, but it's also a lot of fun, and one of the primary features that makes Outer Wilds such a memorable experience. The 3 games that I talked about were the first 3 games that came to my mind. However, I'm sure there's plenty of games that I missed. I guess the note to take from this video is that video games are able to entertain us in a near endless amount of ways. Even something as simple as moving your character can be a lot of fun depending on the game you're playing. It serves as a reminder that you can get enjoyment from even the most trivial things. If there was a game that I missed, be sure to let me know down below.